Gary V., biggest Jets fan that you'll ever encounter, Knicks fan as well. We're getting the news that someone the Knicks we all wish they had drafted, and Donovan Mitchell, has now tested positive for the coronavirus. Of course,
teammate of Rudy Gobert.
Jazz teammate, and of his father works for the longtime employee of the New York Mets.
Correct.
On the marketing side, I believe, the PR side, not on the baseball side. But, wow, this thing is just happening. And Gary, for being the Knicks fan that you are, what's the advice to Dolan, and maybe not even just as a Knicks fan? You're also a social media guru. You're like you're a better branding person than I think Steve Stout would ever try to be.
Yeah.
What would you say to Dolan if you can get in a room with him?
Make the Knicks cool.
Oh, wait, we got to turn on Gary's mic.
So Steve Stout can do that as good as anybody on earth. I mean that. So I think they've got a good guy there with that. I'm a big fan of what Steve can make the Knicks cool. It's not about cool. It's about ownership and leadership, both on the player side, management and ownership, starting a conversation with fans. Back to when I dream up me being a Jet fan.
Right.
So, being a Jets owner, I'll go live for 4 hours and answer questions. I'm not scared of any question. When you fear questions from the fan base, it leads to contentious relationships. Every Jet fan's sign Jamal to a long term, lock up Robbie Anderson. Good. What do you want Joe Douglas to do? Have no offensive linemen? We have a cap. Mm-hmm. This isn't the Yankees.
Right.
I would be not Gary, what? Robbie's a hometown kid. Why didn't you sign him? Because $12 million a year for a receiver is a problem in one of the greatest receiving drafts of all time.
Right.
What do you want me to do? Carl from Staten Island?
Right.
So,
it's about transparency.
It's about transparency. Yeah. Don't be scared.
Right, but with Dolan, we're at a stage here, Gary, and you know this better than anybody. There's such distrust and hatred.
It's on tilt.
Right, against the owner. How exactly
There's only one thing that he can do.
Well, win.
Yes, that's fair. Two things. Win or go direct to fan. And that is not his DNA.
Can't do it. He thinks he's right. That's why he's taking on something that is an impossible force.
So if Dolan asked you his advice, if Dolan, called you up, Gary, and said, what do you think I should do to try and turn the tide here?
Let everybody in at 4 p.m. on a game, stand in the middle court, and do Q&A and live stream it.
That's what you do.
That's what I would do.
Answer all the questions.
He might have an answer that would surprise all of us. I don't know.
Yeah, you don't know. He just doesn't do it.
The only times we hear from him.
First of all, he can never lie, but what if he sits there and says, when we took Frederick Weiss, I was yelling to take Ron Artest. I bet you a lot of Knicks fans would have been pumped. I'd like to know that.
Yeah, I would like to know that as well.
I know, but when you say the buck stops with me, don't I ultimately make the decision? Maybe he felt like he didn't want to.
Didn't we just talk about the other way? Where
you got to get out of the way.
Yeah, right?
That's true.
Listen, this is where it comes down to. Fans are going to be fans. By the way, is short for fanatic.
Yes. Let's
just all remind each other. Fan is short for fanatic. We're all Monday morning quarterbacks. This, that, the other thing. People need to own it. We need to, and so I think the owner, that's what I would do.
Do you think it's important and imperative for him to patch things up with Oakley?
For the hardcore fan? Yes.
Yeah.
But listen, I have zero knowledge of what's going on there. That was just super ugly. But for the hardcore fan, of course.
How about Spike Lee?
Of course. How about for anybody?
Yeah.
You're the owner.
Right.
You have to be the bigger person in every single situation. Good news, you have the leverage to be.
Yeah, exactly. But you look at their press releases. They have no thought to de-escalate situations ever. They only want to escalate. They only ever double down.
I have a lot of business friends who know him pretty well, and there's a lot of people that truly aren't delusional and aren't interested in bullcrapping me that have a lot of fondness towards him. I think we all know people that are different in different kind of settings. Some people are awesome 1-on-3. Some people are great 1-on-1. Some people are great 1-on-10. Some people are terrible at 50,000 to 1. Some are great 50,000 to 1. It's not working. So trying something new might be interesting.
Gary, when did you first realize that, your sort of message, your ethos, I don't want to distill it down to one thing because it's a lot of things, but I would say at the backbone of what you try to preach to people is find what you do and what you love and what you're good at and drill down on that so hard that that's what becomes your success. If I may, I think that's kind of...
It's definitely one of my core things.
One of your core things, right, is find what you do.
Self-awareness, self-esteem, not worry about other people's judgment, mm-hmm.
When did you first realize that was landing in the sports community, that message and you were getting traction in this world?
It all kind of was happening over the last 10 years. I started a wine show on YouTube in 2006. That got big. I started getting different messages really the last 5 to 6 years, it got really crazy. You know?
Yeah. So last 5-6 years, it gets really crazy. We're going to get to your calls. We got Ira and it's a couple of Jet
I want
fans.
Ira.
Yeah, you got it. We'll get to him
Ira's
momentarily.
always first.
No, Gary, but if someone is just starting out
Yes.
and looking to be successful, finding a path.
Patience.
Patience.
Moose, that's where everyone's I'm going to be a millionaire. I'm going to get into cryptocurrency and be a millionaire next week.
Do you believe in cryptocurrency?
Yeah, of course, blockchain is a fundamental technology of the future. Do I know what Bitcoin's going to do or Ethereum or things of that nature? No, that's a little harder. But the underlying technology of blockchain is a game changer, like the internet was.
So patience, that would basically anybody coming into the marketplace, whatever you want to do, you have to be patient.
I know my friend Ken Skelfo is listening right now.
Yeah.
He knows every day in high school, from freshman year on, every weekend and every summer vacation, when people did cool things and all that. I worked at my dad's liquor store. I worked every day from 14. I got discovered by the masses, to answer your question, Maggie, 5 years ago, because I put in 25, 30 years of work.
Right.
Gary, let's head out to Staten Island. You want to talk a little
It's a great
Jets?
message.
Here you go. It's Ira in Staten Island. He is Mr. Jet here on the
He
Fan.
is.
Ira, what's going on, buddy? Gary V's with us.
Hey, good morning, Maggie. Good morning, Moose. And Gary, what's going on, my man?
Hey,
How are
Ira.
you?
Good to see you, brother.
Hey, so, it's funny. You're so right about the fans. Everybody says, oh, yeah, sign Robbie, sign this guy, throw $100 million here. But you're right. You have to take a back seat. I have a lot of faith in Douglas. He has to prove it first. This is his first crack at it.
Yep.
But I think he's going to get Gage the right ammunition to put a competitive, maybe winning team on the field. But he has to prove it first. But I do feel good with the organization, with Douglas's team, and we're going to see what he's going to give the head coach, and we're going to see where he is. We got the quarterback. Defensively, we got some pieces. You have to see what type of team Douglas is going to build, and I think he's going to do it the smart way. He's not going to spend, ridiculous money like you mentioned. Revis, Wilkerson. You could go on and on and on with the band, Tremaine Johnson. It's been years. I think that's come to a change now.
Ira, I couldn't agree more. And to your point, listen, I want the Jets to win so bad I can't breathe, but we have a lot of holes.
Yeah,
a lot
you
of
do.
work.
Yes, a lot
We
of
have
work.
ton
But
of
Darnold can make up for a lot of it.
He can,
You
but
know-
you need to give him an offensive line. And
Sure.
we have a lot of holes there.
Agreed.
I mean, listen, Jordan Jenkins is one of our best players, free agent. Like Robbie, free agent. Like we've got a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah,
We're
that's,
far away.
That's the thing about
We're
preaching.
far. Real quick,
You're far.
guys.
Yeah.
Everybody's listening. We're far away. You want to hate Gaze. You want to think that Darnold's not the guy. Good news. You're going to have a great year next year. We're far away. Yeah. We had the easiest schedule in the history of the NFL this last year.
And you went
don't get it
8-8.
confused. Next year is going to be a problem.
7-9.
We got a lot of work to do. But in 36 months, it could get good. Let's stay patient and let them build.
Yeah,
Come
I
back
mean,
to the word patience.
I don't think that, patience, which
And
Jets
somebody's
fans have
gonna
been
call
saying.
right.
Yeah.
Somebody's gonna call right now. Gary, it's Dominic from the Jersey Shore. I don't want to hear patience. I've been waiting 49 years. I get it, bro.
Yeah.
Me too. What are you yelling at me and Maggie is not gonna do anything about it.
No, it's not going to do anything. But you can understand the frustration level
He's
from
living
the Jet
it.
fan.
I've watched every snap
and
of
you
a
know it.
Moose. I've watched every snap of a New York Jets game since 1982.
You haven't missed one snap.
I have physically watched a snap of every Jets game since 1982.
It's impressive.
My cousin Bobby left at halftime on the Monday Night Miracle. Me and AJ sat there. My mom called me. He was in 8th grade. Bring him home. He's got school tomorrow. Mom, I don't miss plays. Every snap, all of it. Vance Joseph, I know, I can tell you everything about everything. I know when Altoon got his final concussion in Denver, Scott Mercero. I know every snap. I'm 44 years old, 1982. Eric Godfrey makes me a Jets fan. We get to the AFC Championship game. A.J. Dewey becomes the single human I hate the most in the world.
Yeah.
5 years later, I finally have a brother. They name him A.J. I don't even understand how life does this for me. I've been to every AFC Championship game. I had 102 fever. I had Corona in 1998 and went to Denver and sat in that game. You know, Elway said that it was the windiest game. Blake Spence blocked that punt in my face. We were up 10-0.
I remember.
The Falcons, we beat the Falcons that year earlier. I've been through it all.
The catch by McCaffrey out there in
I
Denver.
drove up 95 to lose 60-0 to the Patriots because we lost to them 5 weeks later, and we beat those. I hate those guys.
Okay, but your
Maggie,
best
hold
mo-
on.
Yeah.
I drove up there like I was going to
in a
get
riff.
murdered. Like there was a fan 5 rows in front of us trying to kill us the whole time. We stunned them. Sean Green laid on the pillow. That kid tried to run out because the game was over. I made the most athletic move of my life. I sat in the middle of the row. I dove and grabbed him, said, where the hell do you think you're going? Listen, I've been patient. But guess what? We have a lot of holes. McCagnon was the worst. The single worst GM in NFL history. Let's get it through our thick heads. All-time worst. The worst. He blew it.
And now you got
every
Joe
pick
Douglas.
sucked. All of them. And then he traded, like, he could guys, we needed a quarterback. The year before Darnold, we needed a quarterback. Let me remind Jet fans who was drafted. Deshaun Watson and Patrick Mahomes. I love Jamal. He's my favorite human on earth. We needed a quarterback. We didn't have to trade, but he took Sam. He traded 4 picks.
I know.
Guys, we needed a quarterback. Deshaun Watson and Maggie, Deshaun Watson and Patrick Mahomes went 7 and 10.
Yes.
We took a safety back to back. Marcus May is one of the best. We took 2 safeties back to back in the modern NFL. We had no offense.
That was McCagnon.
What are we doing here? Can somebody? This is the worst.
Well done,
Thank
Gary.
you. And by the way,
Really,
by the way,
that was
Steve
good.
Kerr is coaching the worst team in basketball right now. I don't want to hear anybody telling me that I'm wrong about this coaching thing. 4 minutes ago, he's the greatest genius of all time.
Now he can't. Right now he doesn't
Come
have the talent.
on.
Right,
Yeah.
talent plays.
Well,
Moose, let's educate people.
Well, I agree with you. Talent plays.
I think the Draymond Green Hall of Fame candidacy took a hit.
But
this
you
year.
know this, Gary. You got to deal with.
By the way, Draymond's amazing mentally.
Well, yeah,
It's scary what he
but,
is.
But Gary, here's
I
the
want
one
him
thing.
to be the Jets coach one day.
You also come with the coaching. You can look at the X's and O's. Managing egos.
Of
You've
course.
got to be.
This
able,
is all EQ.
There's
It's all
no,
EQ.
Well, that's no doubt about
By
it.
the
That's
way,
where
the
we
gays-
give Torrey
the gay-
credit. You bring up 96. After that, 98, 99, 2000, when the Yankees started to get guys, obviously started, they won. Guys started. Torrey was a great manager of egos. And then
Bro,
NBA.
don't give me this
handling
Tory
egos.
argument. Why wasn't he a great manager of egos in Atlanta, in St. Louis?
Well, I get
Moose.
it. Guys get
he
better.
He had Derek
though, Gary.
Jeter.
But Gary, let me
he
ask you
had
this:
Derek Jeter.
Are you the same businessman now at 44 than you were at 28?
I respect that, but
no, you're not. You're
but
better
stick
now,
with
right?
me. I respect that on experience, but not on emotional intelligence.
Okay. All right.
I mean that, Moose.
Okay.
And so, on that note, let me just say this. We needed a quarterback 2 years ago. Josh McCown is maybe my favorite human I've met in sports, by the way.
Yes.
I love him. Has nothing to do with Josh. The New York Jets needed a quarterback. We had the pick, Deshaun Watson and Patrick Mahomes.
I know, but Gary, this is why when people say...
No, hold on. I need this fan base to understand why they have to be patient.
No, I get
We went through...
You had a bad GM.
No.
The worst.
No, keep going with me.
The all-time worst GM
worst.
ever.
Yes.
There you go.
And by the way, Mike is a remarkable, nice... This is
Very nice guy.
I really like him.
I love Starbucks.
I want to be very fair here. As a human...
Always had a Starbucks.
But this is a
in his
results business.
I know, but you know what, Gary? It's funny because I get a lot of criticism about this when I say that the quarterback spot is different in the draft when people say, no, you got to draft best available. It's the best available talent on the board. And I say, well, except for the quarterback. The quarterback changes that equation. But there are guys out
Who's
there,
giving
people
you slack?
listening to this radio station
They're wrong.
who
You're right.
who will say that
You're right.
you have to, and that's how you get Jamal.
Best available.
That's how you get Leonard
Hey,
Williams.
Jet fans, you want to take another defensive lineman on best available? We've taken the best available defensive lineman for
I
a
get
decade.
it. But here's the one thing: when you look at that Adams pick, they didn't expect him to be there. Number one.
I don't give a crap, Moose.
Number two is there was criticism,
Moose,
even though
we
I
needed
like
a quarterback.
But even
Deshaun Watson.
But hold on a second,
Go ahead.
Gary. Even though and I love Watson coming out of Clemson. He was a big
Me
game
too.
player, right? I was not a Mahomes believer coming out
Me
of Texas
neither, but
Tech.
guess what? We're not the GMs of NFL teams that spend 24 hours a day on
I
this.
don't disagree with you.
If I was
disagree
doing
with
that,
you.
I would have known what kind of mentality he was. I didn't know what kind of kid he was.
Yes.
I just remembered his dad threw a good curveball. I didn't know anything else. I'm not watching Texas Tech. Come on.
But
This is
now
what they
the
do
Jets,
for a living.
They got Adams and they got your guy
Get out
Darnold.
of here. Get out of here. I want those picks back. I want Quentin Nelson holding down my offensive line,
well,
guys.
I know. Well,
understand.
that's what people
I
will
want
say.
those
Gary
2
can't draft
second-round
for me.
picks.
I know, and now they're going to end up having to address a lot in free agency. You work with Leonard Williams.
By the way, before we get to one of my friends, Matt Hilsick's like, but look what McCagnon did with Bones Jones and Eli McGuire were their
All
arguments.
right, let me ask you this, Gary.
Yes, I work with Leonard. He's the best
We'll
human
get to
out there,
Leonard
too.
here for a second.
Best hair ever.
Which one in your inner circle do you call to go on your jet rants to? Is there 4 or 5 individuals?
My brother.
Do you have them
yes,
on
we
a
have
rotation?
my Jets thread, right? Yep, there it is. It's on fire right now. My friend Al is most like Ira. Like, no, actually, Ira's normal. Like, look, just lose it. Like, more like Beningo, right? Like, loses his. We all have our personality traits.
Yeah, right.
Playa makes pretend he doesn't care and like doesn't watch. Alex Klein is like Alex and Ari are the optimists. They're like Mets. Like they think the Mets are going to make the playoffs this year. Like they're optimistic. My brother is just like super practical, which is why he's a good agent now,
right.
And that's why he does that. I can run really hot. I basically, I love to like hedge my hot takes. You know, like I'll come out and be like, this guy's going to be the worst player ever. And then like 4 weeks later, drop a thing that says something like, I really like the way he plays in these diligent moments, just in case in 4 years I have to screenshot it.
Yeah, you don't want the freezing cold takes to come back to you. Okay,
but let me tell you one take I will never get off of.
What's that? Mike McCagnon is the worst gentleman.
We needed a quarterback in that draft. Deshaun Watson was Deshaun Watson's an all-time human being.
I know.
He's an all-time human being,
he's a
let
good
alone.
man.
I know. I mean, he's going to be the face of the league. We know that. Leonard Williams.
Yes.
You know him. You work with him. He's one of your guys.
Yes.
If they franchise tag him, is he going to hold out, not sign that tag?
You'll appreciate this. I own the majority of Vayner Sports. I'm not his agent. Brandon Parker, the son of the great Eugene Parker, is with us and represents him. I don't know. I'm literally telling you this like a fan, as Gary V, not even as Vayner Sports. It doesn't seem in Leonard's personality trait to do that.
To hold out.
Right.
You think he would? You think?
But
he
he did say he wanted.
He
wanted to test the market in free agency. He wanted the best.
Of course, we want to test the market.
Yeah, right.
Do you know how good Leonard Williams is? If you're in advanced metrics and you actually understand, I know what Jet fans think. Listen, I want more sacks too. If you look at his advanced metrics on what the run game happens, what he does for other players, he's a real football player.
Yeah, but against the run, he's so much better than against the pass, and it's a passing league.
No.
You're talking about spending a lot of money on a guy who's got a limited skill set.
But if you look at what he does when he takes double teams and what, do you think Henry Anderson had the season he had without Leonard Williams?
No, of course, it's all connected. It's all connected.
Listen, one of the things Vayner Sports, AJ analyzed every punt in the NFL for Jordan Berry, one of our clients. We look at these metrics. They matter. What's happened in baseball will come to football, and in that, people like Leonard Williams will shine.
Okay, but the thing about it in the salary cap, in a salary cap sport, is you have to say how much resources, how big of a slice of the pie do we give a guy who we got to go through and sift through all the metrics? And
the guy traded a top 100 pick for him.
Yeah.
Oh, it'd be silly now to let him go.
Well, that's the point.
It's not what Leonard wants, though. You got to do the best for your
Gary,
client.
I know you don't represent
first
him.
of all, I hate the Giants more than breathing. Second of all, I have no say because I'm not actually the agent. Third of all, you're right.
Do you think Leonard Williams is happy being a Giant?
I think Leonard likes New York a lot. Yeah, I do. You'll appreciate this, and I think you guys can see that. I'll shoot it straight.
Yeah.
Since I haven't had the convo, I don't know. And more importantly, it's really not my place because it's really Brandon Parker's place. But Leonard loves New York. Leonard is just like, he wants to win for sure. That I can tell you. There's a thing I know. Mm-hmm. Obviously, if you haven't been to the playoffs and things of that nature. But who doesn't want to test open market?
Yeah, he just might not get the chance.
You want to get paid?
He might not.
No doubt.
And by the way, getting top 5 money is not the worst thing in the world. He's a young kid.
Before we
Giants
go to
fans
another
not gonna
call
like
here,
that.
Gary, I know I got to ask you about trading cards.
Yeah, thanks for bringing them in.
Open a pack of this optics. Listen, very simply,
because I collected cards. I used to go to card shows with my uncle, my dad, and my cousin growing up in Queens, throughout New York.
Go to eBay completed items, go to StockX. Between the sneaker kids that flip, between dads that are 45 that have kids now, between gambling, you could pull both of you right now could pull a $5,000 Zion. That could happen right now, right here.
I'm going to pull like a Ike Diago. But thank you. I'll pull a Frank Ntilikina. Oh, Montrezl Harrell.
I got a Andre Drummond.
Bogdan Bogdanovic.
James Harden.
Jamal
Hardaway.
Murray.
Steph Curry.
Danilo Gallinari.
Danilo.
Another mistake.
So what made you get back into it? Gary, what made you get back into trading cards?
Nothing made me. I just watched trends and I started reading DMs on Instagram and looking on Twitter and looking on YouTube, people opening up packs, breakers, all this stuff. And it's just obvious to me that sport cards are back. Just to give listeners a comp, a Luka Doncic rookie card 9 months ago was $35. Now it's $600. Imagine buying 10 of those.
Yeah,
okay, but as fast as this is rising, is it going to fall too? Do you expect this to be a short-lived sort of phenomenon again?
If you buy Jordan rookies, Brady, all these guys I hate, if you buy iconic Will Chamberlains, things of that nature, no,
they maintain.
I think LeBron is this. I'd rather buy LeBron than a Bond. That's how locked in it is. And then you ride waves. I bought a ton of Pete Alonso's before this season because if he hits 50 homers again, that card's going to go through the roof because he's popular. He's New York, and people love the long ball. So it's gambling.
Do you have
of people
any
listening
interest
right
in
now,
buying the Mets?
No. I grew up a huge Yankees fan.
Right.
I was a Jersey Yankee Jet fan.
Okay, so not even just because they're available.
Not even because
Not just to get in the game.
Now, here's the one thing about cards, right? But you could talk about a card being worth $3,000, $4,000, $600.
Yes.
You still have to find that person that's willing to put that money
It's
down.
called eBay. Brother, doing shows at the Raritan Expo Center or like Phillipsburg Mall, those days are over. You go to eBay and you make money. I've got kids literally within 3 months of listening to my content on Instagram and my podcast, emailing me saying I started with $40, showing me their bank account, like their Wells Fargo bank account screenshot, $40, $4,000 because they were right about Alonso or Acuna or Torres on the Yanks or Luka or Giannis or LeBron.
Okay, we're going to take a call, but I also want to get your forecast on, you can tell us what the next thing is that's coming. Rob is in Edison, New Jersey. Rob, you're on with Gary V. What's up?
Rob?
Robbie.
Rob
Dropped off.
All right. No, Rob. What's next, Gary? What's on the horizon once we get past the COVID-19 and, once we can start looking ahead to business as usual? What do you foresee? What's the thing that's got you excited besides cards for the next?
You'll appreciate this. I don't like saying things that I don't believe. Really, the only thing that's on my, which is wildly ironic to be on the fan talking about it, is sports cards. I think that between gambling culture and sneaker flipper culture and entrepreneur culture, knowing a lot of people, there are a lot of people listening right now that love to gamble on sports to make it more interesting. What also can do that is sports cards. You buy 10 Luka rookies, you're going to find yourself caring about the Mavericks opening playoff.
A lot more.
That's right. So, I look, I was right about TikTok.
Yeah, I would say
I have a knack for that. You're right. But
you were one of the first investors in Twitter, no?
And Facebook and Tumblr and Uber.
Yep.
Yes, I'm good at this.
Gary, can I get your email? I would
Sure
like some
can.
advice, please.
It's Gary at VaynerMedia.com. Moose, I'm telling you right now, I'm being real serious.
Yeah.
And everybody who's listening, don't go on eBay now and buy something random. Spend 10 hours of doing research, blow out cards forum, go on Twitter, follow a bunch of Instagram accounts, learn. But I'm telling you, there's a lot of money and fun. You can spend $100.
Oh, it's great.
On a baseball prospect, right? You want to get excited. You're a Dodgers fan? Buy 50 Gavin Lux rookie cards and watch yourself really enjoy the Dodgers even a little more. I mean, baseball's boring for a lot of people. So buying some prospects and watching
then you
the
see
season,
that value go up, and then being able to flip that card.
Tatis Jr., Vlad Jr., Acuna, Soto in Washington. There's so many amazing players. Soccer cards, wrestling cards, video game culture keeps exploding. Everybody at home right now needs to be realizing the internet is their power tool. Social media is not changing us; it's exposing us. These are the things I think about.
Gary, as you were run through, and Maggie was run through, you do have a knack of being ahead of the curve, right? But if I asked, you're 44 now, right?
Yes.
Say if I asked Gary, the 28-year-old, right, something that you would advise that 28-year-old, not about an investment, but something that maybe you learned over the last 15 or 16 years.
Take a couple more days off and have fun with your friends. I was obsessed, Moose.
Yeah.
I went too hard.
Yeah.
I went 110, and 99 would have gotten me pretty much there.
There wasn't balance.
It wasn't balanced enough. I just went too hard. But I was too happy. It would be hard to give that 28-year-old, that 25-year-old that advice because I was still too happy.
You were enjoying what you were doing.
But do I regret a couple of weekends with Garrett Van Fleet or T. Adam or the Braun brothers? I love my game so much that I get in a cocoon. It's hard to be a workaholic when you're just so happy. It's hard when you're happy.
When you enjoy what you're doing, it doesn't seem like work.
It's hard.
Yeah.
I literally feel like I could sit here and do 24 hours on the fan doing calls for the rest of my life because this is something else that I really love.
Well, you're good
Listen, I feel like we should
Can
just
we
can we do this?
Do we have to go to the break or can we sneak one call? What's happening here? I want to get one more can we just talk about one very important thing?
Yeah, let's go.
We needed a quarterback.
Yes.
No,
I don't think Jet fans are being fair about this. They're going to judge.
We can't go back, Gary. We can't go back. I feel like in business.
No, you're very right. I love where you went with that. No, you cannot go back, but you have to contextualize why we're here.
Right.
To ask Sam and Mac and Gaze to do things for you, I don't think people understand go talk to league executives of where the Jets roster is. Douglas has a lot of work.
He's got a lot of work to do.
That's why he got the big contract.
Got to revamp that entire offensive line.
He's got to revamp the team.
All right, let's go back to '06, right? You talked about the fact you had successful YouTube wine and
Yes.
everything like that. Give everybody out there an affordable wine
Oh, I love that.
that you love.
So I love Portuguese reds.
Okay.
So Douro, Douro, or Dow, Doa. Those are regions in Portugal. You can buy $8 to $12 wines that drink like $30 wines all day long.
All day long.
All day long.
Okay.
Awesome.
So I think Portugal is something people should add to their repertoire. And if you're a wine drinker, here's the number one rule: try new things.
Okay.
Try new things.
That's just good life advice.
It's good life advice, but people they find a Pinot Noir or a Pinot Grigio and they drink it like as the cure. Like try new things.
Amazing.
For sure.
And did you know when you gave Monzo $660 that it was Monzo from FAN?
I did not. I'm going so fast on Twitter. I didn't, It was so interesting. I was going so fast that I just like doing fun stuff on Twitter.
Yeah.
It's great.
You mentioned it before, Mike. Like, I'm a big karma guy.
Yep.
Like, I think putting in, it just matters.
Giving back.
Kindness matters.
Yep.
Yeah.
Optimism matters. Like, this stuff matters.
Now more than ever.
Yeah, Jesus, speak about it.
Yeah, I know.
And so, I believe in that stuff. So I was just having fun, and now we're having this fun, and I've been able to say my piece on the quarterback situation of the
We're glad that you could set the record straight on the quarterback situation.
and the coaching thing, guys. You have to take that baton.
Okay.
Steve Kerr.
Yes.
We
And
know.
don't
Kerr
give
with
me that
Golden
Tory. Like, Tory has a lot of data. Tory, seriously though, this is important to
Okay,
me.
wait.
Players play.
So in your
Horace Grant is not as good as you think he is.
in your never-ending quest
Yes.
to buy the Jets
Yes.
and the end game of buying the Jets, what is your relationship like now with the Johnsons? Do you think
Zero.
that you are the preferred person because
Zero.
are you making inroads in the league?
No.
You realize
In
this
the
is like
league,
an
yes.
old boys club.
Obviously, Stephen Ross is my business partner in Vayner Sports. He owns the Dolphins. I own the Minnesota Rocker Call of Duty team in the new league with the Wilfs,
Yeah.
the Viking owners. I have tons of other relationships, but I've been respectful of the Johnsons. I'm such a loudmouth that I'm going to buy it, and I have nowhere close to enough of money yet. It's inappropriate for me to walk around like a big shot. I don't want to be embarrassed or inappropriate. They're the current owners. They have no interest in selling. My advantage and my dream in my own mind is that there's a 20-year gap in age, which
Right.
leads to opportunity. I'm thrilled to buy the Jets at 69 years old. Thrilled.
Yeah.
This is not like I need it tomorrow.
Right.
So, no, I've never reached out. I mean, obviously, we used to work with the Jets and do their social media. Matt Higgins, who used to be the president there, went to Ross's company. That's how the whole VaynerMedia thing happened. So, I mean, Fred Mangione and Jess Chacon. I mean, I love so many people at the Jets. Jaime, I
Yeah,
love
yeah.
that crew.
Yeah.
But I have never made any advances, have never sat down. I've never even met Chris. Like, I don't think it's what am I going to say? Hey, like, I'm not a doof. I'm not a doof, Matt. Like, listen, am I talking about it? Yes, it makes me happy to call my shots. I like calling my shots. I think it's fun. I enjoy it. It keeps me accountable.
Sure.
It makes it fun for me. I like putting pressure on myself. It's fun. I like the people that want me to do it. I like the people that are like, look at this idiot. He'll never do it because I'm going to stick it in their face like a sword.
But are you trying to represent hope to Jets fans? No.
I'm trying to represent hope for myself.
This is what you're working toward.
Do you understand?
Yep.
This
because
is the
you
end-
want the
this is-
payoff.
Do you know how hard I cried when Leon Johnson threw that interception against the Lions? I cried for 20 minutes. When Garrison
How do you
Hurst,
take the ball out of Neil O'Donnell's
do you
hands?
understand when Garrison
One of
Hurst
the worst signings
take the
in
ball
history.
out? Parcells didn't want the ball in his hand at all costs. He
I
put
know.
Lucas, Leon Johnson. I almost threw a pass in that game. Moose, he didn't want the ball in Neil's
No,
hands.
I know.
Are you kidding me? When Garrison Hurst ran that overtime game,
Yeah.
I cried. I was 23 years old. I cried.
I know. I was at the championship game in 2010.
When we
The
lost,
coldest game I've ever been in my life in Pittsburgh.
when we lost that game,
Yeah.
we were walking across the bridge. It was freezing. 'Cause,
Freezing.
we were walking.
Cannot understate how cold it was.
I
or overstate.
and all Jet fans know we just got done winning 4 out of 6 playoff games in the last 2 years.
Yep.
And I put my hand around Al Frashone, my buddy's shoulder, and I looked at him, and we looked back at the stadium, and I looked him dead in the face. Al, if you're listening, I know you remember this. I said, "We're not coming back for a long,
Yep.
long.
That was it.
Long time." I knew, when you
Yep,
know.
you
That
had
makes
it.
sense.
Everyone did. I was in the press box. Tannenbaum was in the press box for some reason, banging his fist against the desk. Everyone knew it was over.
You know what's interesting about that? The 15 season, me and AJ went to all 16 games. Went to them all. And my dad lost his glove going into the Buffalo game because it was snowy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my dad, Sasha, still blames the reason we lost that game
On the fact
is
he
'cause
lost his glove.
He lost one of his winter gloves. That's how superstitious Russians are. It was my glove.
Hey, Gary, thank you for
Thank you
spending
for
an hour
doing
with
this.
us.
It's a
Thank you
lot-
so much.
Great
We got
to
to get
meet
you
you.
on again soon. Come on in.
I thought we.
This is the show now.
is
This
it.
is not the show.
This is
is
the
it.
show.
I'll take third billing.
There you go.
MMG will be back after this break.
Thank
Gary,
you.
thank you, brother.
Appreciate it.
You got it.
All right, Moose and Maggie with you. Stu Jackson's going to join us. He's the Associate Commissioner of the Big East Conference. Why are they still playing games amidst this coronavirus outbreak? We'll talk to Stu next.